Mental Shift. And if you're wondering, how in the world did I stumble across this Mras with Mental Shift? It's an awesome thing that you have. My name is Michelle. Thank you for joining us, even if it is by accident or found on purpose. If you don't know who I am, well, here I am. I'm an international award-winning speaker. I coach people how to do their messaging in order to get their message out and craft it on stage and speak it and give it to the world. And I happen to be an author, and now I'm a podcaster. This show actually started off as a radio show for a year and a half, and then I shifted it to a podcast. So we are uncensored and we can say what we want to say. This could be scary. Mental Shift, where did that name come from? Well, everyone I've met throughout my 51 years tends to have one journey, and then something major happens in their life. They have a mental shift and they say, you know what? I want to do this. And then they start pursuing their dream. That's what this mental shift is about. This podcast, I bring in people, business owners, entrepreneurs, inventors, and we talk about what happened in their life to make them go from A to Z, basically. So welcome to Mental Shift. And today my guest is Gail Lynn. I met her a couple of years ago at the Feminine Power Project. And then I found out about her really cool harmonic egg, and I sat in it. And I thought, you know what? We need to get Gail here because she wrote a book. She wrote a book called Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing: Why Science is Looking to the Past for the Future of Medicine. Gail Lynn, you're pretty awesome. You've got two websites. One's called thelifecenter.us and the other one is harmonicegg.com. And I've been to your center out in Denver called the Life Center. And you are the wellness director there at the Life Center. And you are the inventor of the harmonic egg. Welcome, Gail Lynn.
Thank you. That's a pretty big introduction there.
You've done a lot.
I have. It feels like it's nothing but a thing. If I can do it, anybody can do it, right?
Well, what we talk about here on Mental Shift is what people see as ordinary, others see as extraordinary. And we see, well, I see you, and soon everyone else that sees this will know how extraordinary you are. I know I just made you speechless. But you do things, what you do when you give back, this healing that you help people find in themselves and naturally, you do because it's in you. It's nothing that you are, you do it because it's so easy from your heart.
Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I was put on this earth to do this, but previous to doing this, I thought I was put on this earth to do project management and run companies and launch projects. And I remember a guy saying to me one time, he said, you know, the biggest sin of all is not doing your God-given gift. And I thought my God-given gift was corporate America. I could rock any kind of project. I usually came in under budget. I had my team wanting to work for me. They wanted to get my tasks done on time. The only B I got in college was project management.
And that's what you went into?
Yeah, because this is what I did. I went rogue. I went so rogue on the final exam. The project management teacher wasn't teaching it properly. He was teaching people how to manage tasks. I know it was about managing people. So I went rogue on the final exam. When he failed me on the final exam, I got up in front of the class and I said, if you want to be successful at project management, this is what you will do. You will find a way to manage people, not tasks. And he said, that's not what the final exam was. I kind of tried to get the dean to, get my grade up, but it's what I did. It's what I was good at, and it's what I got to be in.
That's awesome. But see, here's the other thing about this whole mental shift.
Yeah.
You saw that so easy that you didn't see how special it really was. And
Right.
now that you have your own business and you are the project management queen of your own business. I mean, that's why your business is successful, because you can do that. And I'm glad you said that, because some people say, well, I'm really good at this, but I really would like to do this, but I'm really good at this.
Right.
What does this that you're really good at apply to what you really want to do?
Yeah.
And just because someone hasn't done it before, hello, harmonic egg, doesn't mean it can't be done.
Well, and people will tell you it can't be done.
Yeah.
My whole life has been about that. So when I was in corporate America, and that's what I thought I was supposed to be doing. And the little knock on my head was saying, you need to open a medical center. I'm like, what? I went from automotive to telecom to Hollywood to medical. And I said, no, I'm good at this. So I resisted, and I'm a Scorpio, so I'm stubborn. And I resisted so much, it ended up in a bankruptcy because every time I kept trying to go through the corporate door, it would slam shut. And so finally one day I said, well, God, source, universe, whatever word you use, I said, if you want me to do this, you better find a way, because I felt like I lost my entire identity with the bankruptcy and not being able to find a job in corporate. And I thought, this is terrible. Like, this is what I'm good at. Now, once I said yes to the Life Center and the Harmonic Egg, that came a little later, everything just flowed. And now my motto is let it flow. And I tell people, if it doesn't flow, let it go. It's amazing how much, after saying yes to this, everything has flowed. And I was at a point at 37 years old where I was in severe cardiovascular stress. I was on the verge of a heart attack. My heart rate variability test said that I had a heart of an 80-year-old, and I was on the verge of an instant heart attack. And that's when I found the Sound and Light Healing Chamber. And it was a light box that I found in Arizona. So of course I flew to Arizona to try to save myself. I had suffered migraines for 23 years. I had asthma, I had cystic acne, my hair was falling out. I was a hot mess.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm 37 years old, I've got to make some changes. And so I found this light box because I did try Western medicine and everybody would just shun me off. There's no reason for the migraines. They don't know why. I didn't want to just be on a medicine that expands and contracts the blood vessels in the brain, because my mom was on that drug, Maxalt, for 20 years, and she had a brain aneurysm and died 2 years ago. So it's not something I wanted to do. I wanted to find what the root cause was. And because I was a project manager and a private investigator, I knew that there had to be an answer. So I find this light box in Arizona and I go to it, and within a weekend, my heart rate variability test shows that my cardiovascular stress is gone. Now, I'm an engineer, right? Because I worked in automotive, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way this, light box could have done anything. And, it was undeniable. Year after year, I went to the light box in Arizona for 3 years in a row. And then I decided I'm going to open my own center and help people the way that this light box has helped me. Well, then my little engineering mind starts going off, and I start to realize, well, this light box isn't shaped the right way. It doesn't have the right sound. It doesn't have the right speakers. It doesn't have the right lights. And so as I, just became an inventor. However, I have to say this, working in automotive, I always thought men were inventors. Women don't invent things, men do. So it was a huge mental shift for me to make, to go, okay, I'm a woman and I'm an inventor. Oh, hell yeah.
I love it. What a past. I didn't know all of that. I just knew you were really good at what you did.
Well, when I met you, you introduced me, and at the end of your introduction on stage, you said, I just want to get in your large wooden egg. And the crowd started cracking up.
But I did.
Yeah. It's been life-changing. I'm telling you, the light box was great, but it had a lot of angles and it was just a rectangular box. And it did help on a lot of physical levels, but it didn't help on the emotional levels when I didn't remember most of my childhood. It was, I had an alcoholic father, which, by the time he passed, we were best of friends, but it was a hard childhood, just like everybody else has their own challenges in childhood. I was molested by the priest of our parish at 14, and, nobody believed me. And, so just stuff like that happens. So I think I blocked out a bunch of my childhood. And so after I got the healing to be 360 degrees, and we created the curves of the divine feminine, and we had, the box was just angles. And I remembered my childhood, and then I remembered being born, and that flipped me out. It was, my parents were still alive, and I was in the egg, and I remembered there were something beings or angels above. And I remember them saying, she's here. And I'm thinking, I'm in a hospital room. There's something above me. It's not the doctors. It's not my parents going, she's here. And I thought, this is weird. And I remember my dad being scared, but also being like, oh my God, I love this little baby. Oh my God, I'm scared shitless. Right. And so I think at that moment, I smashed love and fear together
Oh,
emotionally. And it took a long time for me to figure that out, to say, you don't have to be fearful of love. And I think that's when that happened. So I was able to verify, in fact, that that was my parents were there. My dad felt those feelings. And so it blew my mind that that was just something I experienced in the egg. It went that far deep and that far back.
well,
So,
you know, our brain does not forget anything it ever sees,
right.
ever. I remember going to and sit in your harmonic egg, and what it reminded me of, and I remember you asking me afterwards what I felt like. I'm like, good, good. I was trying to process it.
Right.
Well, I realized later what it feels like. I do a lot of yoga and meditations. It feels like yoga nidra for me,
Okay.
where you go into your heart chamber.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. And I went into my heart chamber and fell asleep because it was the most comforting. I can feel a heartbeat and I'm there.
Right.
So it's different for all of us, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I have people tell me it's cocoon like, it's womb like, and I've had more men come into the center than ever came in when I had the light box. And I thought, why would men want to come and heal in a large wooden egg? I mean, it was, I think about this stuff, and I think it's just very comforting for them. And they don't have to talk to anybody and have the talk therapy. So I have
Yes.
a lot of men with PTSD who will come in, and they get to go in there and they get to just process. And it goes to a cellular level. We're releasing in that 360 degrees, and it's a sacred geometry. There's different shapes of sacred geometry. So in that space, you're very safe, you're very protected. And I guess it just feels to them very healing. And it can go to the level below consciousness. So you're pulling stuff up that's not even in the conscious ego mind, and it's coming up to be released. And so people will tell me they've thought of situations and people they haven't thought of for years. So there's just trauma releasing, and it's not really my invention, if you will. I brought it through. So I feel honored to be the guardian and the facilitator of this device. But when I see my name and attached to it, it feels weird. It feels like, no, this was given to me from a different dimension or a different source, and it's here for everybody to use. So it's really it's
But
surreal.
you're the catalyst to bring it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. The divine needs a catalyst. And that's why it's so important for us to follow our passions, follow our dreams, because they're implanted into us. And if we ignore it and fight it, and some people like Gail stay in the PM world and keep fighting for it, that's why things go chaotic, because we aren't doing what we're supposed to do on this planet. And if you listen well enough and you go into a harmonic egg, the universe tells you.
yeah.
I mean, and that's why I do so much meditation, because I'm constantly waiting for a new download. Because what's next? I have no idea. People do, what's your business plan? I do. All I know is I'm supposed to do this,
Yeah.
and I'm going to keep walking in that direction and waiting for whatever is coming in my way to help me guide. Because this is not me anymore. I do what I have to do because
I have so much respect for you. I've been, watching you for a long time now, and you just rock it. I mean, so many people have so much respect for you, and you're funny, you're smart, you're beautiful. I mean, you've got it all. It's just, it's great. It's great to watch. I'm watching you, evolve and meander your path.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been quite the journey. Is not the fun one. It was not easy, but when I let go and stop fighting, a lot of things happened. And that's why the other reason I wanted you on the show is the harmonic egg. I've run into so many people who have difficulty meditating, calming down their brains, stopping the voices inside their heads. I mean, I wrote that book, It's Not Luck, Overcoming You, because I was wanting to help people get those voices out of their heads. And then I thought, well, then I'll just keep talking about meditation and yoga. There are a lot of people who just can't stop the voices. And then I thought of you. In that harmonic egg, the voices stop.
Yeah.
And there, it's a womb-like feel where it just all goes away. And for someone who has, PTSD, or in my case, PTSD, traumatic brain injury, you name it, I've got a lot of things going on. It made my brain stop enough and calm down that I could feel what I needed to feel.
Right. Right.
And so when I went into my meditations, I can recall what I felt like in the egg.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
And so when I tell people about meditating now, I'm like, have you ever heard of the harmonic egg? Because you might need that to calm you down. I mean, there are so many people holding on to so much stress. And like you said, you've watched me through my journey for over the several years.
Right.
Part of my journey was I needed to get off the meds, and one of them was Maxalt.
Oh my gosh.
My brain injury. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sought natural therapies because I realized the drugs they were putting me on were making me worse. And if anyone's watching, you don't really know who I am, look at my old videos, look at my pictures on Facebook, whatever. I used to be 389 pounds when I did my TED Talk. So in 2015,
Yeah.
I was not able to move for a year and a half. So I gained a lot of weight. And in that gaining of weight, it was a lot of drugs in me. And then and then when I came out the other end, I found out I had breast cancer. And so all these things started happening to me, and I had so many voices that were telling me, you're going to die, you need to die, your body's giving up. And then there was another little voice that said, you're not dead yet, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. So I took in what I needed to out of traditional medicine, and then started pulling out of natural, and started harmonizing my body, bringing up my vitamin levels. I mean, I got a lot of holes in me because I had a lot of blood work to find out what was missing, that my body was fighting so violently. I mean, it was reacting to everything. And once I went to things like the harmonic egg and meditations and yogas, I started finding the little girl in me that shut down from the rape, from the childhood traumas and things like that. I distinctly remember being in yoga nidra after your harmonized egg. Okay, remember, I used it to help. Your harmonized egg helped me remember to get down to the quiet me.
Mm-hmm.
I found the young me who was raped, and I sat and I talked to her, and I told her that I was safe and that I was older now, and she was safe and she could go.
Yeah.
That's the period I dropped 120 pounds very, very quickly. Now, I can't say that to the normal world out loud because people think I'm crazy.
Right.
But I released the young girl in me that was afraid to come out.
Yeah.
So if you watch my pictures, you'll see me go from 389 to about 200, and then I stopped. And then boom, 120. I released the injured me.
I hear that a lot too, from people that have gone in the egg, that they're able to release weight because it's a shield that they had to protect themselves from some trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And the stories that I hear, I mean, I have to do the egg, the harmonic egg every week, because I don't want to take on those stories. The people that come in here want to share what they've had happen to them, and then how the egg has helped them to process it. Some people, it's the first time they've talked about it is after an egg session, because it was so traumatic and it was so much PTSD. They had no words for it. They couldn't speak of it. It's so crazy. And then I have, on the bright side too, I had a guy who's pretty well-known business owner who created a system. And he said he was flying in from the East Coast, and he said, can I come in on Monday the 27th? And I said, no, we're closed that day. is there anyone that could just see me, So I had somebody come in, I gave him a key, and they saw him. I was out of town. And he said it was brilliant. He said he has now the next phase of his system for his business from just being in the egg.
Clear as mine.
It's
Open
so
the door to let
crazy.
it come in. Download.
Yeah.
I want you to be closer. You need a traveling egg.
Well, we might have one out in the springs in October.
Oh, good. Good. We'll
Yeah.
just manifest that.
Right.
Because it's sometimes when life gets chaotic, it's really hard to quiet the voices, quiet the thoughts and all the other things going on. But that harmonic egg, it almost happens immediately before you even turn it on. Just sitting in that enclosure.
Yeah. So, well, let me tell your audience what it basically is. So it's sound and light. We're vibrational beings. We're light beings, and we came from an egg. So why not heal with sound and light in an egg? So the sound spirals around you 360. You have two speakers on the sides. It almost acts like headphones, but headphones, you're only hearing it.
Yeah, it's your
In
body.
the egg, you're seeing, so you have the senses of the eyes, you're seeing the colors of the lights that we've chosen for you based on what you want to work on. You're hearing, and then you're feeling all the vibrations and the music through your skin, through your body, in an immersive sound and light bath that is just brilliant for people. And then we have 40 minutes of music and 10 minutes of complete silence. And how often do we remember in our day where we get complete silence? So much noise pollution. So in that silence, you're integrating and you're just pulling it all together. And then when people come out, they even look different. It's fun.
It is fun. I'm so excited for your book, and that it's going out, and it's out, and that you're able to touch more people to help people realize that the future of medicine is in our past.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? It's the alternative medicine, and they call what we're doing the alternative, but they've altered native medicine. So they're the alternative.
Yes.
Native medicine. So I love that. But in my book, I tried to really communicate with people. You don't have to come to a harmonic egg to do sound and light healing. I've given examples in the book for people to do things at home. I mean, you're a couple hours away from me, but some people are in Australia. And there's a lady in Australia now who flew to the Sedona Center and just emailed me and said she had a great session in Sedona. And so people have flown from all over to come to the centers. But if you don't have the money or the time, there's ways to do things at home, from the foods that you eat to the clothes that you wear to the music that you listen to. You can get one of those lamps, with colored bulbs. And so I've given examples in the book of what colors to use for different ailments, what instruments and sounds to use for different ailments, so people can do it at home. I mean, it's not the harmonic egg. I mean, yes, of course, if you have an opportunity to experience, it's great. But there's things you can do at home, and people have said that the harmonic egg is like shavasana and yoga on steroids.
I can see it. I can feel it, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, one of the other things that equates for me with the harmonic egg was my experience when I'm a beach girl. I'm from the Philippines. So standing on the beach when no one else is there, with my feet dug into the water, into the sand, and the water rushing over me. It's the same kind of feel for me. It's that kind of feel. And then the sound of the water in the ocean, that constant. Yeah, it's really awesome.
Water sounds are so good for PTSD. And so we don't use drumming for PTSD, but we use a lot of water sounds. And we find that it's very soothing, it's very releasing, it's very healing. So that's great. I love the water. I absolutely been drawn to the water so much lately. We've been going back and forth to California. We now have 6 centers in California.
That's fabulous.
All down the state.
So you hear that, people? My followers in California. She's got a lot of harmonic eggs out in California. So look her up.
All the locations are on the main website. But my musician is in Studio City. So I was at his studio a couple weeks ago, and he came into the Egg in Westlake Village to listen to a new piece that we're creating. It's a new music piece. It's going to be The Frequency of Love. We're going to tune all the instruments to the hertz of Venus, 221, 23 hertz. And it's heartstring instrument. So it's guitar, it's harp, it's what other one we're using? Violin. I love violin in the egg. It just goes right through me. And so he said, as he's laying back in the zero gravity chair, he said the harp strings go and just gives him a massage right across his heart. And he just loved it. So he's great.
Oh, I look forward to that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a journey. I'm telling you, from automotive to telecom to Hollywood to this, it's been quite a journey. And I didn't want to write the book about me. I didn't want anything about me in there, but I had a co-writer because I would have never put it out there without some help. And she said, well, people need to know who it is that brought this through. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm just this little girl from Detroit. No big deal, right? And I'm getting feedback now. People are getting their books in hands, and they're saying it's such an inspirational story.
It is. Well, as a speaker coach, I train people to speak about their message, and I get them on stages and I craft their message because people do business, you've heard this, with those they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
They need to know your past. They need to know what that mental shift was in your life so that they can, one, relate to you as a human and then trust you to their future.
Right.
What's next. And there are so many people do, oh, it's just, I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about whatever this is. It's like, you are what that is. I mean, that's the part that you've got to remember.
Right.
You are that thing, that whatever that entity is, they associate it. And humans need comforting. And no comfort is they need to know you. So now they know who you are, and now they'll trust you. And it's a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing. And you're awesome. So.
Well, I feel like, people should be inspired, because if somebody from my past can do this, then anybody can do it. But you have to have the drive. You have to have the focus. You have to have a vision. Because after I was in Hollywood, people would say to me, how did you make a movie? And I wrote a 4-page document about how to make a movie. But they say, how many years does the average person take to make a movie?
Years.
The average person doesn't make a movie. And you can say that about anything. How long does it take the average person to create their own podcast? The average person doesn't do it. Yeah. And so you have to be more than average, and you have to have this focus and this drive, because the average person doesn't change the world. And there was a movie, Men of Honor, and it's, what did they say? History is made by those that break the rules. And I had that movie poster hanging in my office when I was in the movie business, and that was a motto for me, because everybody said, you can't make a movie. And I said, why not? Well, because you never did. Okay, get the hell out of my way and watch me. And we did it.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's one of the things I coach about is when people are like, I can't do this because I don't know what to do because no one's ever done this.
Right.
Because you are that someone.
Yeah. I called manufacturers and I said, this is what I want to make. I'm going to make this large wooden egg. And they said, it can't be done. And I said, well, Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And the guy said to me, you're not Walt Disney.
No, I'm not.
But guess what? I have a large wooden egg now.
And thing is Walt Disney wouldn't have built that because you were meant to build it.
Right.
And that's the situation with everyone that has this dream and they're so afraid to step forward. Do it afraid, okay? Do it afraid, because what you fear in your future, it's because you fear failing because you want it so badly. That means that's where you're supposed to go, because that's where it's going to work. That's where the magic's going to happen. Because you can't see it, that's where you're supposed to go. And it's awesome. I love it.
If you can dream it, you can do it. I mean, that's the saying.
Yeah.
And I just fully believe it. And I had a dream about it. I don't know how it was going to come together, especially when I was told it can't be done. And I thought, well, let me think about this. Okay, maybe I should just forget the vision because it can't be done because one person said it couldn't be done. Screw that. Go ask someone else. Get a second opinion.
Well, and then you've seen me through my evolution. I'm missing 4 areas of my brain. The neurologist said, you should be a vegetable. You should not be talking or walking. I
Right.
don't know how you're doing it. And I said, don't tell me that I can't do it because I don't know.
Right.
Just let me be.
But you're
And now I'm an international speaker, an author, a podcaster. I'm coaching other people, but I'm missing 4 areas of my brain.
right.
So don't tell people. Now, whenever someone says you can't,
Well,
now you know where
that's
to
just
go.
how stubborn you are. When someone says you can't, you're like, oh hell no, get out of my way.
Yeah, get out of my way. Don't tell me what I can and cannot do, and
Right.
let me see what I can or cannot do. And whatever I can do, I'll move towards more of that. And what I can't do, I'll find a way around it. So one of my things I say is be like water. When water hits a rock, it goes over, around, or through,
Right.
but it will find a way. Be like water.
Yeah. Well, and I've had clients that, the doctors will tell them, it was one in particular, the doctors told her her son wouldn't live to be past 10. And he lived to be 20, and then he got a really bad cold and it, damaged his lungs. But she said, no one gets to put an expiration date on my child. And no one should be able to put any kind of
Limitation.
limitations on you.
Exactly. The only one who can limit you is you.
Right.
And why would you want to do that?
Right.
If I listened to what I was told I couldn't do, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
Because I was told you only have 3 months to live. You've got breast cancer. You let it go too long. You've got 3 months.
Yep.
It's been a year and a half. And I'm down, 200 and something pounds.
Yeah. You look amazing. I was so shocked when I saw your video come up just, when we started this call, and you just look amazing.
I feel amazing. And people are like, what have you done? I've worked on my brain a lot. Most of it was brain work. And then a lot of body parts being cut off for the cancers and things like that. But the thing is I've known people who have surgeries and gain weight because they say, I'm hurting, I can't move.
Right.
Right. I have the other mentality is I have this body for X amount of time. I need to move it so it stays as healthy as possible so I can move more and do more before I do expire.
Yeah.
And so it's just a mental shift. It's a mental shift, and you can do whatever you want to do. If you dream it, like Gail said, you dream it, or Disney said, you can do it. And it's a mindset. Now, if you want to be able to do something and you don't have the skills, find the skills. If you don't have the education, get the education. If you can't afford the education, there are so many YouTube videos you can figure it out. Or go into a harmonic egg and dream about it. Or a yoga or meditation, and let it download from the universe. Because if it came into you for a reason, there's a way.
Right.
I got a little preachy there, didn't I?
That's awesome. You tell them. You tell them. It's so true.
Gail, I am so excited for the future of your egg, or the universe's egg. It's not yours. You just happen to build it for the download. But if people are listening and you want to hear more about the harmonic egg and the Life Center, go to the websites. So I'll put them in the comments below, and I will have it on wherever else I have text. But Gail Lynn is the inventor of the harmonic egg, and you can find out more about that at you can go to the Facebook fan page, which is the harmonic egg. Just harmonic egg. It's pretty easy to find. And then the other one is the Life Center. You can find the Facebook fan page for Life Center, and it's in Denver. And then the main one's in Denver, but there's a whole bunch of them all over the place, and particularly in California, right? What else? You're the wellness director. Oh, and you've got the book, Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing. Is that in Amazon, or is that everywhere else?
So this is going to sound really weird. We tried to get it on Amazon, and we tried for about 14 hours, and Amazon just would not set up the account. So my thought is the vibration of the book is too high for Amazon. It is for sale on my website.
Perfect. If I could figure out a way to get my book off of Amazon and put it on my website, I do the same thing, but they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving it eventually, but I just did an audiobook so that I could move it off of Amazon, and that ended up on Amazon. So
try Smashwords. Smash words. My co-writer found smash words, so we can put a bunch of like an ebook, a Nook book, and so I have a PDF file for sale on my website, and then I have the book, the music that we've used for the egg. So there's a store on harmonicegg.com.
Cool.
But smash words, we're going to try that when we get the conversions of the iBook and the Nook and all those formats.
Cool. I'll
Yeah.
look into that because, yeah, I need to get it off of Amazon. My book got stolen off Amazon.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well,
someone
they take so much, and then they charge you monthly fees. I just think it's not fair, and so I'm kind of glad it worked out that it's not on Amazon.
it's
I was
perfect.
really upset at first, but
It's
then I thought,
perfect it didn't.
let
Because
it flow
those
or
of us who are
let it
stuck,
go.
those of us who are relatively stuck are really glad that you aren't on because
Yeah,
it's a hard monster to get off of.
right. Well, thank you for that. That makes me feel better.
Oh yeah, definitely. My book, my first book is like in like 6 different languages,
Nice.
not by me. But it's out there, so that's good.
Right.
So Gail, is there any last words of wisdoms you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, I think we need to all get stress under control. I think that it's the number one reason why people go to the doctor. The root cause seems to be stress related. So, I would encourage people to find ways to find balance in their life, whether it's with their four-legged friends. I have a horse, and so I spend time with her every day. And it's important to not just be a workaholic. That's not the key to success. It's about having balance, de-stressing yourself. Because if you're not here, then you can't make the difference that you're meant to do to be here, if that makes sense. So
Correct.
you
I
really need
agree.
to take care of yourself to take care of everybody else.
Fill your pitcher so you can help
Yeah,
fill other people's cups.
right.
Good advice. Unstress your life. Life's too short to be overstressed.
Yeah.
You need to schedule time for yourself to be the best version of you.
Yes.
I will have the links on the Harmonic Egg in the Life Center so that you can find them on Facebook, and then also the www.lifecenter.us and the www.harmonicegg.com. You can find Gail Lynn pretty much everywhere. She's easy to find. You are.
Yeah.
Please find her book on her website, Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing, Why Science is Looking to the Past for the Future of Medicine, which is really, really funny because that's where they got it all originally. And thank you so much for joining me, Gail.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again, especially if you get an egg out here on my birthday in October.
Right? My birthday's on October 2.
Woo, October babies. Woo. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And please share this. And you know anybody anybody who has stress, which is pretty much everybody, connect them up to Gail. Find her on the lifecenter.us or harmonicegg.com. Find her. Find this downloaded magic that has come to her to help the rest of us find some peace in our world and some healing in our hearts and our minds. Thank you for being the conduit for that, Gail. And until next time, everyone, please share this with people and keep it going. And this is Michelle Mras signing off on Mental Shift.